Back my Florida Garden Escape channel. I'm happy to have you guys here. So today we're going to do a little video on some trellis ideas that we're going to be corresponding here into our garden. Now before we get into the trellis ideas, I really quick want to just go over with you guys what my mission is, what our mission is here at our Florida Garden Escape. Not only do we want to give back to our communities, we also want to recycle and reuse. So things like, for example, a Cascades container. Instead of throwing in the trash, we reuse it and put holes in the bottom to create new little pots. We want to create less trash in the world, along with giving back to our community a fresher product, fresher foods, fresher everything, more organic. Because as we all know, the more organic we are and the more fresher we go, the healthier and better we can be. And that's what we're trying to do here at our Florida Garden Escape, along with recycling and reusing materials that are around us, that our community's throwing out, that see no good in it, but we do. So in our trellis ideas, you'll see in some people's eyes junk, but in some people's eyes like mine, and in creator's eye, there is always a use for it. So we're going to go ahead and jump into these trellises, so let's get going. Alright, so with trellising, it's all about what you're planting and how you're wanting to go. So for example, some people will trellis watermelon, cantaloupe, things like that. With watermelon, you always need a basket or something to hold that watermelon up because it's always so heavy for the vines to hold it. So unlike with our cucumbers and things like that, they'll grow on the vines and hang there until they're fully ready to be picked. Now, some of these ideas we have are for cantaloupes, cucumbers, things like that. Here at our Florida Garden Escape channel, we are doing a lot of vertical grow, so that way we get more use out of our garden space. As I like to say, we are on only a 1.5, close to a 1.5 acre, so we don't have a whole lot of room because we also have kids and things like that, so we have to work with the space that we have. Thankfully, we do have a lot of it, so we can do a lot with it. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're doing everything vertically. So that means everything's just going to grow up. Instead of growing out, it's going to grow up. From our tomato plants to our cantaloupes to our cucumbers, even down to our grapes. So we're going to go ahead and flip you guys around. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my first trellis, but before I do, before we mulched everything, because I went ahead and prepped the ground and everything for our cucumbers to go here, I'm going to show you a quick picture of what it looked like before we added the mulch and things like that, and then here this is now. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and flip you guys around and I'm going to show you the full trellis, and we're going to go through everything that we have here. So as you guys can see, it is almost like a TP structure. Now, the materials you see here are from the materials we've had around our home that we're able to reuse. So for starters, we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. This is actually a table, our outside table. We had an umbrella through the center, and it was a glass piece that was in the center. One day the wind blew really hard and the umbrella came out and knocked the glass and broke the glass everywhere. It was a terrible whole ordeal. But we were going to just throw the table away until the other day I got the brilliant idea to make a trellis out of this table. Now, here what you see in the center is just a regular stick that we found in the woods. We just used it to hold up that TP structure. And then around the center of the table is a old wire we found, and we just reused it to help the trellis run. Now, we also do have here a few extra wirings to hold this end of the table up, because without a centerpiece, this doesn't stay on these side railings. So what we did here is we add the wiring along with this black tethering here. Now this black tethering is something you would use to make hanging pots and things like that with. But we got a creative another way of idea of using it as a trellis form for our cucumbers. Now we just tied everything up in a big tied knot up there at the top. We have already fertilized and mulched this area, so that way when the cucumbers start to show their roots at the bottom of their cups, we can go ahead and put them in the ground. Now let's go ahead and move on to our next idea. Now, a lot of these materials we've gotten through some junk jobs we've went on. Well, my old man's went on. Some of this we've had laying around the house or the yard, things we needed to get rid of. And some things we just acquired over time that we've collected. But in this next idea, we are going to be using just materials we were able to find, along with some silicone-like caulk to caulk the pieces together. And then, like you've seen with our TP structure for our cucumbers, I just showed you, that mesh that you use to create those hanging baskets, we're going to do a full trellis line through these poles here that I'm getting ready to show you. But now keep in mind, we've only worked on this one trellis. We haven't started on the others. Those are a work in progress. I'm just throwing out here, guys, ideas for you guys. So maybe it's something you might want to do and try at your home. And we'll later do a full video on us creating these trellises and things like that. I'm going to go ahead and flip you guys around and we're going to show you this next trellis idea. So the next trellis idea we have here, this is actually a pole from a pole saw that we used to have that actually almost caught on fire. We took the end pieces off, cut the wiring, things like that, and then now it's just a regular pole. Well, these other poles you see, these white poles, were from our pool. Now, yes, you do see here they are rusting, and it's not to worry because these are only for the time being. These are we're going to put into the ground, and then over time we'll be able to break it back down and get something else out of them. Now with these poles, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys really quick here, just kind of the way it's going to look here, so that way you guys get kind of like an idea with me. So as you guys can see here, it's going to look like your regular fencing structure. So we're going to caulk this pole onto this end, this pole onto this end. And once we caulk those ends, we're going to then move on to this end and caulk this end to that end. Now, with this being done, we're also going to take the ribbon that you see there, that black stuff, and we're going to take it across these and up these. Now we're either going to put we're going to put the cantaloupe on this infrastructure, so that way it can grow up and over this part. Now I do plan on putting this right here. I haven't fully put it in place, but that is going to be another one of our trellis ideas. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one, and I'm going to explain this next one to you guys a little bit better. Alright, so this next one is a big piece of it is from this table. It came with the table. It's just a simple chair, but I'm going to go ahead and explain to you guys exactly what we're going to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and just flip you guys around. This will make it a little easier. So as you guys can see here, it's just a regular old chair. I did go ahead and cut the mesh out of the center as it was already ripped. So I went ahead and just finished cutting it. Now with this mesh here, I am going to finish cutting. I'm going to cut this out as well. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stack like pallets right here up to the side. So the center of the chair is going to be covered into like a TP structure. Now the pallets we're getting from things like companies and things like that that have pallets that they're just not doing anything with, or they just want gone. Now the pallets we're going to make into a TP structure over that chair. And then what we'll do is we'll plant things along those structures to make a TP-like trellis for our plants to grow on. Because with some of our plants, actually a lot of them currently now, they are viney, so they want something to grow on, grab onto, and stay hooked onto. So this is the way we're going to be going about to trellis our plants, to do it vertically. Now that is the only three ideas we do have currently. I am still in the works for some more ideas. I haven't fully came up with anything yet. I get so much creative juice in a day, and I try and use it towards everything. So, but yeah, that's going to be our trellis ideas. Now I have a question for you guys, and this is not just going over trellis ideas. We're also going to just discuss really quick I want your guys' opinion. So this is me reaching out to you, to my fellow gardener YouTubers and things like that, asking you guys, and I'm going to flip you guys around in a minute after I ask this question. So there's this big pen that we have our macadamia grapes and our raspberries and things like that on. Help me debate on whether we should turn the inside of this pen into more of a chicken coop or just start trellising more different plants on it. So I'm going to go ahead and flip you guys around and show you what I'm talking about. So as you guys can see here, we have a small little pen here, and I do have fencing inside it just to hold it there for right now. It's just sitting there. But it's a debate on whether we want to add chickens in here, if I want to do that just quite yet, or if I just want to just use it more as a trellis. Because what I can do is I can take that fencing and do it more over the top, so that way we have an over coverage for the chickens, but I'm just not quite sure. You guys let me know what tips and tricks and ideas you guys have down below in the comments. I would love to hear from you guys. Because I gotta admit, this one's got me stumped. I really don't know. I need y'all's opinion. I just gotta reach out to you guys and know y'all's opinion. But that's gonna be it, guys. Leave your comments down below on what you guys think I should do with this pen. And stay tuned for an updated video. See what we end up doing with the pen after we get y'all's comments. And also stay tuned, guys, for an updated trellis. Once we get all these trellises built, and as we go through the process, we'll do a whole nother video on that. And that's gonna be it, guys. You have a great and wonderful rest of your day. Deuces.